one of the data points you could point to on this is the fact that my generation, Generation Z, which has grown up with this sexually liberated society our entire lives, we're the most depressed generation in living memory, to my knowledge. And it's not like it's related to poverty. I mean, society is richer than it's ever been. Of course, there's still poor people, but we're a lot better off than, say, our parents were or grandparents were. And yet, so many young people today feel, and I'm not putting that entirely down to this one issue. Of course, it's going to be a variety of factors. Like with anything, nothing is that straightforward or simple. But it just goes to show that the more liberal and free, quote unquote free, so-called free society becomes on issues like this, the less happy people are. Provably, that's what the data says. That's how people feel, and we don't need to speculate about that. Or, you know, maybe in the 1950s or 60s, when it was this kind of kooky new idea on paper that we're just thinking about, maybe then you could postulate. But now we know the information is in, and it doesn't look good for this little social experiment we've been trying for the last few decades.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head when it comes to a very important link between a sexual revolution and sexual freedom and where society goes when you mentioned mental health. And you are right. I mean, all the data is showing that we have a phenomenal rise in people who are facing serious mental health challenges. And Mary Eberstadt, in her book Primal Scream, looks at that question: why do we have such an explosion in mental health challenges in today's society, and especially amongst the younger people? Why is that? And so she begins to work backwards, and her book is extremely well referenced. One of the most well referenced books I've ever seen in my life. About a quarter of the book, I'm speaking roughly here, is just references at the end of the book. But she traces it back to the sexual revolution. And so what is it about the sexual revolution that has resulted in things like mental health, mass shootings, identity politics, and so forth, and distills it down to, with the sexual revolution, the family began to be decimated. And with the decimation of the family, something happened. Specifically, she argues that we all have some sort of an identity that we get from our siblings and our extended family, like cousins and aunts and uncles. We have a sense of identity from that. And the sexual revolution destroyed that family and extended family. So at least as far as number of siblings and getting together with the cousins and so forth. When that is destroyed, a huge fundamental need within a human being disappears. That is this sense of identity. And when that goes, there is a massive increase in mental health challenges. The mental health of an individual deteriorates substantially. And then a lot of these other symptoms take place. And I think when I read J.D. Unwin's work on sex and culture and then read Mary Eberstadt's analysis, I think Mary Eberstadt has shown why what we do with our sexuality is so vital to the survival and flourishing of our culture, and specifically to the mental well-being of the individuals within that culture.